Hey everybody, welcome back to another Manga Haul video, and we're looking at the month of June. And I will say I'm pretty excited about the haul for this month. I was able to pick up the entirety of a series I didn't think I'd be picking up anytime soon, but of course we'll get to that momentarily. As always, like the previous videos, what I'm going to do is I start off with just the books that I'm already upkeeping, and then I save the end for the books that I just picked up and I'm pretty excited about reading that are new to my collection. So with that, let's go ahead and get this started. So starting off, we're going to go with the series I did not expect to finish. Rightstuf has their birthday sales going on at the moment, and I happened to luck out and I picked up the entirety of Kaguya-sama Love is War. I didn't think I'd be completing this series at any point in time within their near future, but I'm showing this all these because it'd be here forever if I was going through each of these individual books. But good God, am I excited. I'm so happy with the anime coming to an end, film announced, and of course a new series that will come eventually. I'm ready to dig into this and see where we left Shirogane and Kaguya off and the rest of our heinous, crazy crew. But I will say I'm really excited. I like how colorful these spines are. I don't like really just like the plain black or plain white spines, and I just love the colors. So I can't wait to put this on my shelf and then just see all those colors blending with all the other spines that I have. And with that big series out of the way, I'm just going to go ahead and keep it running with all the Viz titles I ended up picking up. So the first one is going to be, of course, JoJo's Golden Wind Adventure. I said that terribly. But number 4, I'm really excited. This is one of my favorite parts of the series. So hopefully just gets us closer to that steel ball run, man. But again, colors are beautiful, and it's been nice to go ahead and revisit Bruno and all his crew. After that, I have Volume 5 of Fist of the North Star. I still haven't had time to sit and read these, so I'm going to be putting some time aside this weekend to dig into these, because I have no excuse now. I have no excuse. And after as much as I love that first volume, I'm really excited to see where this story goes. Then we have Volume 2 of QQ Sweeper. So I'm getting there. Just need one more. Once I find Volume 1, I can finally dig into this and the rest of Queen's Quality. So I'm pretty excited, and I'm probably just going to add that into my list to get off of Amazon or something. That way I can just go ahead and start getting into it. And then one series I have to wait to get into will be Black Clover Volume 29. I've just got to, I think, episode 120 on the reaction channel, and good God, I'm loving it. As much as I want to just jump into this, I kind of have to wait because I'm really interested to see what's going on with your boy right here. But I guess I have to wait, and once I get through the anime, then I can jump into this. Then we have Jujutsu Kaisen number 16. So this is wrapping up the Shibuya arc and throwing our friends a new curveball. Now that all the stuff that's happening there, if you've been keeping track and reading and staying up to date, you know the insanity that happens in here, so I won't say too much. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and go do it. But now we start the new arc and seeing what's going on with the crew. And then on a lighter note, we have Sakamoto Days 2. I love this first one. I haven't read this one yet, but good God, is there such a great balanced comedy, and Sakamoto was just probably one of the coolest assassin dads ever. But I can't wait to get into this one and see where it goes. Then probably one of my guilty pleasures, again, Yakuza Lover number 5. I do know this is wrapping up, if not has already wrapped up. So I'm just excited to see where it goes. And then you can't look, it's just so pretty. It's so pretty. But prettiness aside, it's a pretty solid story, so I'm interested to see where it goes. And then one I was really excited for is Volume 36 of Yona. Like I said, I don't gush enough over this series, and good God, it's the way it's going. It's insane. If you haven't picked it up, please do. And I'm not gonna say too much, but Hawk, my man. I'm scared for them, but we'll see. Then we have Chainsaw Man number 11. I actually finally just sat and read 8 through 10, and it's really intense. I didn't expect it to really hit the way it's going, so I'm kind of scared for what's going on. But the story did pick up for me. I know I said in another video is that it's kind of it was kind of waned for me. It picked up a little bit, so I'm still glad I'm going through this, and it's sad to see this part come to an end, but part 2 just started coming out on the app, if it's not already going. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen after this one goes. Then one I was really sad that ended is Volume 13 of Hell's Paradise. I really loved this series. I liked the Taoism and the Buddhism, all the different religious aspects that were in there, and it wrapped up nicely. I feel it was a pretty good conclusion. I'm not gonna say too much on how the characters' fates are, but at least I was pleased with how some of it ran, even if I was kind of, no, that sucks. I dealt with it, And if you haven't checked this out, like, please do. If you love Chainsaw Man, this is definitely one that you need to go check up. And with it being completed, you can just find all of them now. So go check it out. Following up with Viz Media, now we have Kodansha's line, and we're gonna start off with Orient. This has quickly become one of my favorites that I'm loving it. Not season 2, core 2 of season 1 just started, and I'm finally gonna get some of the characters I'm excited to see, especially this man's right here. I'm ready to see this man throw down. But again, if you liked Magi, definitely go check this out. Same creator, and I'm liking the direction this is going. It seemed a little rocky for me at first, but it definitely picked up with these past couple volumes. So if you were on the fence, like, it's definitely worth going into. On the more romantic side, then we have volume 4 of Love Sick Ellie. Unfortunately, I don't have too much to say about this because I'm still waiting. This is another series that the girlfriend's collecting, so now I'm just staying up to date with it. So hopefully, once I get time, I'll be able to sit through and just binge all of them. She says it's really good, and it's definitely worth checking out. And following up, we have volume 2 of Sailor Moon. I'm really liking these editions for Sailor Moon. I'm definitely going to wait till I get probably a few more, probably around like volume 5 or 6 before I start digging into it. I love the animated series when I was younger. I love the movies, watching on Toonami and everything. So I'm happy I can finally get this one into my collection, and then when I get the time to sit down and just dig deep into it. And of course, one of my favorites, Shaman King. This is going to collect volumes 25, 26, and 27. If you haven't checked it out on 2 Cents Anime, we did a little promo reveal for the statues that Figurama had done for these. So go check this out, because good God, what they did with Hao and Yo looks phenomenal. And it's a great time to be a Shaman King fan. So definitely, if you're still waiting, like, don't wait anymore. Just jump in. Following up, it's been a while since we got a new Blue Period volume, so here's number 7. As I said before, I like how this just portrays like the artist, kind of like the struggles of like honing that skill, and like the comparison of like yourself to others, and like finding your own like unique style and everything. So being a person that just likes to draw and be creative, like, a really good read in my opinion. So check it out. Then 2, I'm kind of on the back burner for right now, are A Sign of Affection 4 and 5. I read for the first volume, and good God, it made my heart melt. So I haven't just jumped into these. I know I'm just gonna binge them. I'm trying to take my time and just do like a slow burn with these, because I do really like the connection these characters have. And again, as always, if you love those like little romantic stories with like the subtle nuances or like slice of life stuff, like, this is like right up that alley. And then another series that came to an end, at least for us in the States, What's a Koi. So I have the BAM exclusive and the Barnes & Nobles one right here. I'm working on the other 2. I'm not usually one to get multiple volumes of the same volume, or multiple copies of the same volume, but they're too adorable. If any of you that have read this series, like, there's no reason you wouldn't have these 2 in all of their glory. So I got 2 down, and it's got 2 left to go, and I'll probably be in the next video. Hopefully, we'll see. Then this round, I got 2 yen press volumes. So first one's gonna be Love of Kill. As I said, like, this one's now after the anime, so I like how it's starting to ramp up the stakes a little bit more. Like, they're kind of more on the run. So I have 7 put aside, and I have this. I can go ahead and just like indulge in both of them. So still loving it, and I'm excited to see where it's gonna keep going with the story, and especially with the stakes getting higher. It'll be cool to see what's going to happen with these characters. And lastly, the Abandoned Empress number 2. I'm about halfway for the first one, and while it wasn't really on my radar at first, it kind of is now. I like the story. The art took a little bit getting used to, but the use of colors is really nice, and I'm liking the character development as of right now. So more on that when the next volume comes out, but definitely worth the read. Then we'll have volume 3 of The Breaker. I'm loving the art. I finally went into the first volume, and I'm glad I started this series. I like those martial arts, like those fighting manga, and I really love the way the fighting is done in here, and the story's pretty solid. It kind of reminiscent of GTO, so if it's one of those like that was up your alley, like, definitely check this one out, because you probably get the same kind of similar vibes. Then wrapping up the upkeep, we'll have my last 2 that are the vertical comic prints, and that's gonna be the last volume of Posnes, volume 9. The last time I read this was like volume 4, and I know I said I wanted to wait till I got all of them before I finally dug into this series. So I plan on just putting all 9 aside and running through all of them. I really did enjoy this story. I like this seemed a little bit more simplistic, not as chaotic as some of the other works this author has done, at least in terms of how it looks or the action that's going on. I like the barren wasteland look. So I'm excited to see how this one finally wraps up. And then the one series I always look forward to, Blood on the Tracks, and good God, did this volume not disappoint. I'm not going to stay on it because I'd be here all day. But again, as always, if you're a horror fan, like that psychological stuff, like, don't sleep on this and go check it out. It could have come across a little disturbing from some people just because of the subject matter it holds, and especially some of the reveals in this one. But don't sleep on it and go check it out. So I don't have a whole lot of new series that were started this month, but one that I'm really excited for that I haven't had time to read as of yet would have to be To Strip the Flesh. And this one really came off as interesting to me because we don't see books like this. At least I really don't. And it's cool to finally see this kind of representation happening. And then I'm just really big on stories that are about like finding who you are, embracing who you are, and loving who you are. And in just the way the world is now, it's like, it's hard. Like, you have to deal with so much other crap. Like, it's hard just to set time aside for yourself to like build that esteem and confidence and figure that question out a lot of the time. So I'm really interested to see just like how the story's gonna go, and following this character and discovering and just like learning to like love and be like comfortable in their own skin, which I feel like it's a journey that like we'll all try to do. I'm really interested to see how this author tackles that, and I'm excited. I can't wait to dig into it. So the next one is one I can't really read, and that's from Far Away Volume 2. The girlfriend loves this series. I guess it's an old one that she really enjoyed. It deals with a character that gets isekai'd to another world, and one of the things I found really cool is she told me that the character doesn't understand the language that's there in this world, so the character has to like to sit and learn like the language. It's not like, oh, you just got into the world and oh my god, now you're stronger or powered or like have one up in everyone. Like, the character really has to sit and like figure out a way to survive in this world. So hopefully, like, maybe one day if we get lucky finding the other volumes, I can dig into it. But aside from that, this is just something that would be nice to have in the collection, and she really wanted. After that, we have the first volume of Welcome Back, Alice, the new series by Shuzo Oshimi. I did read this one because also when I ever get his books, I just devour them immediately. I'm really interested to see where this goes. I didn't know if it was just going to be like conflicting on just like the one individual, but I'll just say this character right here in the front, I want to know what the motivations are behind the actions that are happening. So with how Blood on the Tracks is going, I feel that like horror-esque element coming into play, but I'm gonna hold off. Like, if you guys are a fan of his work, I think it's worth the checking out to see where it goes, and I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. But it's really gonna depend, at least on me, like how everything gets handled. But I think it'll be a hell of a story once it starts to get going. Next, we have Ghost Reaper Girl Volume 1. So I've actually been reading this on the Plus app, and I love it. Like, it's just so... It's fun. It's really fun. The characters are very, like, in their own personality. It does have that typical, like, okay, like a girl signs up to be, like, this ghost hunter kind of person, and all the other ghosts want to like bond with her because she has like a high spiritual energy, but she ends up bonding with this individual, and then she turns into Ghost Reaper Girl, and she can now like kill and destroy these ghosts. So it's a really fun ride. I think, if I remember correctly, it's by the creator of the Rosario Vampire, and I haven't personally read that. I know a friend has read it and he hasn't had a chance to check this out, but I really love the way the characters interact. Like, it's fun, it's enjoyable. Like, the story's not super complex, at least as not as right now. But then it's cool when she fuses with the people and she takes on different forms. So I'm interested to see what other forms or what other ghosts will be introduced that help like build her arsenal or her abilities. Then we have this gorgeous book, The Elusive Samurai. So this is by the same author of Assassination Classroom, and good God, can I feel it. It was a lot more brutal than I had thought it was gonna be, but just kind of deals with the samurai. One of the soldiers in the army does things, and now he's on his own. He has to kind of rebuild and take back what he's lost, but he's not a fighter. He likes to run away, so it's him trying to learn how to be, I think they say, is like the runaway samurai, and how he's going to start building companions going to help strengthen that need or that running away aspect, instead of him being just like a full-on like brawl out fighter. So I'm pretty interested to see where it's going to go. Next, we're gonna do one series that everyone's been really excited for, Blue Lock, and good God, did this not disappoint. I love the stakes, the coach that's like training all these, strikers to now see who's gonna be the best or create this like ultimate striker for like Japan's soccer team. I don't want to say too much, but it's like battle royale, prison style, and I like the characters' personalities a lot. It reminds me of kind of Haikyuu, where everyone was kind of like their own person and they like stood out quite a bit, and you see that here. And I'm really interested to see how this character's journey is going to go. It's like feeding into that egotistical nature instead of like that teamwork nature, which is usually counterproductive to like team-based sports. So I'm heavily excited to see where this goes, and hopefully we won't have to wait too long for the volumes to start coming out more regularly. But definitely, like the sports books, go check this one out. I don't think it's one that should be slept on. And speaking of sleeping on things, if you are not reading Bungo Stray Dogs, I don't know what's going on. You need to go read this. I may have talked about this in the past, but I'm doing it now again because, good God, like I hate how long I have to wait for this series to come out. Like, it's phenomenal. I love the direction. The pacing's good. The stakes are always really high, and in different ways. Like, this book always keeps me guessing. I don't know what's gonna happen, and just the mechanisms between all the different groups, governments, organizations, whatever you want to call them, that are working in here, like they just all work so nicely together. And there's still so many other characters that haven't been introduced in here that I'm wondering, like, who else are a part of these groups, or like each group is based on like literary authors of a specific country, and there's countries that haven't been introduced yet. So I'm not going to say too much. If you haven't checked it out, like, definitely do. Like, even if you feel like it's slow, like, just keep pushing through it. Like it's just really good in what it's doing and what it does. And then we have a new season coming out hopefully soon, next year or so. I'm going to pray on that, but we'll see. But anything, go check it out. Don't wait. And the next book I didn't think we'd ever get translated here in the States is Shadow House. I watched the anime. I did not expect to love the anime as much as I did. I thought it was a really cool premise, these shadows that create these dolls that are supposed to look like them and imitate them like almost perfectly. But our main character here, Emilico, if I'm saying her name right, with her shadow Kate, kind of changed that formula of, Kate's more on Emilico being kind of like her person, and then you kind of see how it starts interacting and changing how other shadows and their counterparts start working. But I don't want to say too much. It does have a more like suspenseful atmosphere to it, and there were some parts in anime where they did take on almost more of like a horror-esque area. But if you like those like suspenseful thrillers, like, definitely look into this. Again, it was one I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did, and I really liked how the world building is done, like the way the characters kind of play off and grow off of each other. And there's still so much left to be said about the world. At least, season 2 just started, so I'm excited to go jump into there. There were some changes to the anime opposed to the book, so I'm excited to see what changes were made, because I started with the anime. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what's going to happen when I go through reading this. And then lastly, probably my favorite book that I picked up this time that I didn't think I was going to love as much as I did is Wandance. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I have an empty void having finishing Dance Dance Dancer, which if you haven't watched, for the love of God, please go watch it. It's beautiful. Kind of like I just mentioned about the last book, like I'm really big on that, like, self-discovery and loving yourself and your passions. And one of the best ways to learn to love yourself is find out like your hobbies, the things you love to do, and then just like do them, because like they are like an extension of you, like that's your passion. And kind of how Dance Dance Dancer did with their character, the boy learning to just love being a ballerina and wanting to do that and putting his focus and drive into it. This one focuses on a character who he has a stutter, and he doesn't really fit in with the other, like you said, like the male groups. and he decides to take up a dance class, or not a dance class, he joins a dance club at the school, and he slowly learns like this is his way of communicating. Like he just kind of like closes out from the world and just like feels and just bees with the music. And that's all help of another individual who he meets, where she kind of like gives him that push. And it's not like a romantic push, it's just like a, hey, I get it, like just focus on me, focus on the beat, and boom, like go be comfortable like within your own self. And I love those stories. I don't know, maybe I'm getting sentimental as I get in my old age, I don't know, but definitely check this out. The character personalities are beautiful. I love how shy and awkward he is, but then like when he stands up for himself or when he dances, like that goes away because it's him being comfortable, like that confidence is there. And it's cool to see the art, the way they do like the dance movements, and then like when the music gets put on, at least in the book, and it's cool they show like the titles for the song and the artist. You see how all the characters are like moving within their own like rhythm. So I definitely have this one like on my radar, you know, like coffee. I love coffee, right? So don't sleep on this, man. Like go check this out. Like I really feel like, man, if this were to get an anime, like it'd be crazy. It'd be really crazy. Like, excuse me, Mappa, like I saw what you did with Dance Down Sarah and that was a ballerina. Like this one's hip hop dancing. Like please, just please. Like this is my plea, right? But enough about that. Definitely check this one out. Like I feel it's worth looking, even if it doesn't turn out to be something like super crazy, like blown up. Like this is definitely worth. And well, guys, that brings this video to a close. Definitely a lot shorter than that last video. I didn't pick up as many books this time, so I'm trying to hold back on those Rightstuf sales. So we'll see. Luckily, Bleach went out of stock, so I don't have to worry about buying all those. But with that, again, as always, I appreciate you guys taking the time to go through these videos and just hear what my thoughts are. Hopefully, one of these days when I get more time aside from the main job, I can do some videos on particular series that I love, that I have like scattered back here. And I also have 2 more bookshelves on my opposite end of things that I'm collecting. So again, thank you guys for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one.